Hello foodies, foragers, and fungiphiles. This is a video of my May morel pick in July 2024, and we will be finding the elusive and mysterious green morel. We didn't have a whole lot of fires in northwest Montana the year before, but we had a couple of big ones and a couple of close ones that were getting hit hard by people. This is a app I use from NASA, which shows you every day where fires were all over the planet, and after a few months you can go back and check where burned areas were. This fire was in the Swan River Valley on the Mission Mountain side, kind of close to a town called Seeley Lake. It was up high and it was being logged, so I had to kind of wait and sneak in after the loggers through an unlocked gate with no signs. Orange peel fungus is one of the other curious fungi that you find after a forest fire. And when they're in super strong like this, it's usually a really good sign you'll find morels. Sometimes you may find all kinds of other weird fire fungi and no morels, but if you keep looking, you'll find some. Here are some of the first Morchella tomentosa I found. In fact, some of them kind of being out in that July sun got super white. This burn ended up being one of the most perfect morel sites I've ever seen. On northern and eastern slopes and areas with more shade, the black morels were coming up still healthy, and within the black morels, the somewhat rosy ones, the blacker ones, the conicas, they were all present. And the tomentosas, the gray morels, some people call them blondes. There were some that were just starting to dry up and get blown out. There were some that were just popping and have that really nice kind of gray purple color like these. And then also the elusive green morel was starting to show. Same thing, some were just coming up and then some were getting big. The elevation too was perfect. I think it was around 5,600, 5,700, so not a super high alpine burn. Here we have a little buddy I found, the spruce grouse, and he is bad. Look at him, he's showing off by his lady friend that's on top of the frame there. You'll see in a second. He's pecking. I don't think he's really eating, he's just displaying. And sometimes these guys can be really aggressive for being a small bird. There's another much larger upper elevation grouse, and they are super aggressive sometimes when they're mating or if they have a nest in the area. I've actually been chased by them. So my first green morel of the day, in a perfect state too. And you can see here, look at all the different varieties in this one little pathway. Can you see all of the morels? There were the blacks, and now here's the grays, a couple of greenies, some more blonder grays, and all in super good shape. So here's the first good patch of greens. We're calling them capitata, exuberans. I've looked up lots of data, and even with mycologists, it seems to be still identification somewhat unsure, but doesn't really matter. They are delicious. I wouldn't call them a beautiful morel. They're always oddly clumped, and even that big boy right there starting to dry out, but it was super heavy. Here on mushroomexpert.com, thank you very much. It's a great site, everyone take a look. And Wikipedia, you can see the history and somewhat recent nomenclature for this species. This one's a nice one because it really has more of that green look. And another characteristic I found with them is even when you dry them, they always have kind of a look like they're wet. Almost like wet to the touch, appearing even when they're fully dry. As far as flavor in cooking the greens, I haven't noticed any big difference between them and the tomentosa, but they are certainly delicious and as good a quality as the tomentosa, which are my favorite. Those big daddies have a lot of nice green color too, as you can see their name. I didn't really find these much until the past couple of years, In fact, I almost kind of doubted that there really was a distinct different species of green morel. This was a great pick. Beautiful weather, long days up there at 6,000 feet or so. Spent afternoon, night, and then the next day picking. I think overall I ended up getting probably 60 pounds. You can see here in a minute the vast collection and different colors that I got at this site. Didn't see anyone else. The loggers were working over about a mile away up high and never saw them either. So here back at the truck, didn't cull them out or put them in different packages. But you can see even the blacks here, a lot of them have that interesting rosy color. They all have the single stipe. Those rosy ones are still, a black morel. As with the tomentosa and the green, you can see they have this double walled stipe. And in fact, some people I've even heard mycologists have read say the green morels, the exuberans, have almost a triple wall. They definitely are very thick, very heavy, and very hardy. But I didn't notice any triple walls, but they also see that one, it's kind of crumbly too. They seem to crumble a bit. Yet they still dried well and are pretty once they do dry and still kind of keep that wet look. Well, this was the haul. Beautiful pick. Right when the weather starts drying out too. No bugs, no worms, all perfect condition. Morels are all in the family Asomycetes, spore shooter. A few times I've seen the spores start shooting when they get to a certain temperature. It's really an interesting sight. Shows you that we're breathing spores and mushroom matter all day, every day.